to this Tuesday night team call. We're now being recorded. Welcome, everybody. My name is Lisa Blaisdell. I'm a National Marketing Director, and it is so wonderful for me to welcome all of you tonight to our All Heat team call. We are so excited to be together as a larger group on this. Is this the third Tuesday of January? January is flying by. And we have someone who is so wonderful and who I just love and adore so much, who is going to absolutely blow you guys away with her training.
And so now
all of us,
I'm echoing. Since you did that,
Nikki.
I didn't do it.
Okay.
I didn't do it.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go back. Don't worry.
Hopefully this will work. And I'm not muted, right? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. No problem. I was trying to just do it on the phone so I wouldn't freeze, because sometimes I freeze on the screen. But I'll introduce Pammy, and then if I freeze, it doesn't matter. So Pammy Shepley, for those of you guys who do not know her, she is a National Marketing Director 100 Club who lives in Dedham, Massachusetts with her husband, Roger, who is also a National Marketing Director, her newest National Marketing Director on her team. They have 2 adult daughters, one of whom is Ellie Shepley, who is also an NMD. So 3 out of 4. And Julia Shepley is the sales coordinator, the next NMD in the Shepley family, no doubt. Pammy has been with Juice Plus since 2003. She and her team have won 2 Elton Awards.
Oh, did I just mute you? Hold on. I think we just lost Lisa. So we're going to wait a second. Or are you losing me? Can you hear me, Pammy?
I can.
Okay,
yeah.
So, and I guess we've lost.
Maybe she froze or something. She looks frozen.
I know. So you know what? We're going to just keep moving on.
Okay, so I froze just like I thought I would. So I'm just going to keep going.
So I'm going to try to find you. This is a fun call, isn't it? I'm trying to find you here, and I'm not seeing.
It doesn't matter. I'll just start talking.
Okay, just start talking. Pammy is amazing. She's a former teacher. I can't wait for you guys to hear her story. And I absolutely love and adore her. So thank you, Pammy, for being with us tonight.
Oh, my God, I love it. And I know you love this technology and Boxer, and not Boxer, Zoom and everything.
I'm sweating now. I have to take off my sweater.
Well, you don't need to sweat, because the fun part about this business is we all understand, and nobody is nudging anybody or thinking anybody. We just are all normal, and we get all screwed up. And that's what makes us human and makes us all love each other and love this business. It truly is. So anyway, it's a real honor to be asked to speak on your call. I really love Lisa, and I love the Cottons, and I just will do anything for you guys, as you have done for us and our teams. And that's one of the beauties of our businesses. That's how we can share with each other and help each other. Oops.
You're okay. It's me.
It's not going to be very good if I'm muted.
It's all good.
So, anyway, just to share, I'll start by sharing my story. And I started this almost 14 years ago, which is kind of unbelievable to me. And I came into the business because my sister asked me if I was interested in Juice Plus, and I said absolutely not. I thought it was a vitamin, and I didn't take vitamins. They made me burp and gave me bright yellow pee, and I just thought, go away. I don't know why you're even doing this. And so she was very smart, and she was lovingly persistent, and she gave me a tape of Dr. Du Bois, and some of you know, most of you, all of you probably know who he is. And I heard that tape, and he said broccoli, beets, and cabbage, and carrots, and all those things. And I went, oh my God, that's exactly what we're not getting enough of. I had 2 teenage daughters who were using broccoli as a dipping mechanism to get more ranch dressing into their diet. So I thought, well, you know, if this really is what it says it is, maybe this will be good for us. And I love that they had the Children's Health Study where we could get Juice Plus at no cost for our daughters. So I strong-armed my husband, told him that we were going on this. And he said, he growled a little and then just said, well, don't put it on the credit card. And of course I said, well, where else am I going to put it? So anyway, that began the money part of this. So we got on Juice Plus, and I did put it on the credit card. And what happened was, over time, it completely changed the picture of our family's health, putting an end to years of antibiotics and over-the-counter meds. None of us have been on an antibiotic for over 12 years. And we threw away the Metamucil, the Advil, and the NyQuil, kept my husband off statins. And my youngest daughter weaned herself off of her ADHD meds completely. So this had my attention, and I was a school teacher. And when you know about something like this, it's really hard to keep it to yourself. If you're normal, that's how I feel. So that was part of this. The other part of that is this: Gretchen was inviting me, my sister, to join her in the business. I was on the product, so she was saying, you should do this with me. But I kept saying, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm a teacher, and you're a teacher too. I don't know why you're doing this selling vitamins thing. And she ignored me, and she went on to build this business anyway. And she would show me the checks she was making. She would talk to me about what she was learning. She would come back all excited from a conference, and she was growing a team. So I was watching her and getting a little jealous. I was competitive, and I remember thinking, you know, she's going to be prosperous and successful and leave me behind. I'm going to be this pathetic school teacher for the rest of my life, regretting this, because she's going to be this successful national marketing director, network marketing diva. So I said to her, okay, I think I do want to do this with you. What do I do? And so she came up, and we did some presentations together, and it kind of launched my business. And what happened was I started really with just the intention of I needed $500 extra a month because I had credit card debt, because I was spending the money while my husband was making the money. And as a school teacher, you don't make much money. So this was like, my tastes were way beyond what I was able to earn. So I wanted that $500. That would just do it for me. So what I couldn't believe is how quickly that came. I just went and started to do what I was supposed to do, and the next thing I knew, I was making $500 a month, and I thought, well, that was easy. And the other thing I realized is that I was in complete control of this paycheck. I had never experienced that before in my life, because before I'd always been on a salaried income. So I had what I discovered was a really good work ethic. I like to work hard. Whatever I do, I put my heart into. But with teaching, you don't get paid based on how you work. You're on a salary. No matter how hard you work, you can come in an hour early, you can leave an hour late, you're still going to make whatever that salary is, and it ain't much. So I was really intrigued. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I can make this paycheck go up. And so I just kept making it go up. Went from 500 to 1,000, then I doubled that. And in 3 years, I retired myself from teaching. And I remember that day to this day, because it was one of the most exciting moments in my life when I didn't have to go back to school. And here's the thing. I don't know if any of you are teachers on here. You don't go into teaching for the money, obviously. You go in because it's a calling, and because you're passionate about either what you're teaching, or you're passionate about children, or whatever it might be. But what I've realized now is that was just a season in my life, and it was 25 years, extremely rewarding, and I never regret doing it. But I think now, what if I had not been invited into this business? What if Gretchen had said no? What if she hadn't invited me? What if she hadn't been, persistent with me? Where would I be today? What would I be doing? I mean, the thought of still being in a classroom it's impossible to imagine. So I just realized that as people, we have different seasons in our life, and there can be many more than just one career for us. So just bear that in mind as you're considering this opportunity, or if you're in it and trying to grow it, that we all deserve to have more than just one career or one season of our life. So basically what happened is I retired, continued to do this, and now we have this huge, beautiful team. Over 8,000 lives are being changed for the better. And I feel like I'm living my life by design, not by default. And I now earn in 2 months what it used to take me a year to make as a teacher. So this talk is called It's So Worth It, because what I was thinking about is that now I'm reflecting back. Having worked this Juice Plus business for almost 14 years, it's without a doubt been incredibly worth it. But as I look back, I'm super aware that I've had to adopt some habits and make some sacrifices to create the life that we have today. So what I'm going to do is just highlight what I consider 5 of the top sort of success habits that I feel are non-negotiable to create the life that you want. If that's what you want, if you can dream about what could be possible. So here are kind of the must-haves. Number 1, you've heard probably a million times, and that's that you have to have a reason why you're doing this. And we call this your why. We talk about it all the time, and I'm afraid that we talk about it so much that it kind of loses its importance. But think about this. Most people go to work every day just to pay the bills and make just enough to do that. What if you could go to work every day to build an incredible future for yourself? So here's the thing. If you do not know why you are doing this, you probably will not do it. And if you're not doing it, it's probably because you don't have a strong enough reason to be doing it. And some people, we've heard this, come into this business because they're desperate. They can't pay their bills. That was me. I was kind of getting desperate. I was staying up at night because I was worried about this credit card debt. So I feel like I was kind of lucky because I had something that was just pushing me. I would do anything to get out of credit card debt. But other people come to this through inspiration. You may have had a really incredible experience with Boost Plus. Or you may, and you want to share that health story just with everyone. You're a mission-driven person and you just are inspired to get up every day and help as many people as possible. It's not really financial for you at all. It's really about the mission and the passion. But my point here is that you really have to figure it out and you have to write it down. And it may change from time to time. I mean, I do this now for completely different reasons that I did it years ago because I'm obviously not financially desperate anymore. I mean, my reason now why I get up every day is because I want to help other people have the possibility to have what I've been able to have and to help others really live up to their potential, be the best version of themselves. There's something incredibly rewarding about that. I get up now just for the profound, unimaginable joy that comes from being part of someone else's success. But that wasn't the same for me 13 years ago. I was doing it strictly for me and because I needed to pay this debt down. So you really have to think about this and you have to write it down because you won't do this work. And especially when it gets hard, if you don't have a strong reason, it's so easy to just not do it. You know, it's like, I got nothing to lose, so I'm not going to do it. Okay. So that's number 1. And share it, you know, whatever you write down, share it with someone so that they can be the keeper of your dreams with you. They can be the person that holds that sacred for you so that if you forget why you're doing it and you say to them one day, you know, I'm not going to do this anymore. It just isn't, it's not worth it to me. Then you just say, you're kidding me. You told me that you wanted to, you know, save that money so you could buy that house and pay off your mortgage. You're just going to give that up so easily? And they're like, oh, I forgot I told you that. So write it down and share it with that person that is going to mentor you and help you so that they can keep it sacred for you and remind you in those times when you forget. Because that's what Gretchen did for me. Believe me, I wanted to quit and give up many, many times. But Gretchen always reminded me that I had reasons for doing this. And, you know, that she didn't think I was such a quitter that I give up that easily. Okay, so that's number 1, your reason for doing this. Number 2 is you have to have people. You have to have people to talk to. And we call this our memory jogger, but at the end of the day, you've got to have people to talk to. The number 1 thing we do in this business is talk to people and share our story. So if you are not able to make a list of 100 people, 100 names, then you need to network and meet people. And there's just no way around this. People will say to me, you know, I don't know enough people or I can't find enough people to talk to. Well, there are billions of people on this planet and billions of people who want to know about Choose Plus. And our job is to find a way to meet them and get into conversations and build a relationship and bring this up. Bring it up. What have you got to lose? So, you know, how do you meet people? Literally, the grocery store, the yoga studio, join a business networking group, go to meetups, go to mommy and me classes if you're a mom. You just can't talk, you can't keep talking to the same 15 people and think that you can build a business. The other thing is you need to build a team. You can't just go around talking about our product to everyone. The customers are great, and that's at our heart of hearts what we're doing is helping people get healthy. But this will not create the life of your dreams. In fact, having 100 customers will create a nightmare. I mean, taking care of customers is part of what we do, but it's not the most fun part. I'm telling you. Building a team, once you experience it, and helping others grow, that is the part that is fun. And that's the part. Partners, teammates, pour your heart into them. And a lot of people joining your team, just doing a little bit, that will bring you a life of your dreams. So that's number 2. Number 1, find your reason. Number 2, get people to talk to. And if you don't have them, go find them. Number 3 is time. You have to put some time into this. And I just don't buy it when people tell me that they don't have time to do this. Because I was extremely busy when I started to do this. I had a full-time job. I had 2 children. I had to exercise. I like to cook. I like to entertain. I like to have a clean house. So I was really busy. I was doing a lot. And does everyone hear that sort of noise in the background? I don't think that's me, but
I'm looking to see if anybody is not muted. If you're not muted, I've muted a lot of people, so we check to see if you're muted, and don't unmute yourself.
Okay, it's not too bad, but it just sounds like someone's like, I don't know what. There may be side step.
I just muted a 303 number.
Yeah. Oh, it's better. This is good.
There we go.
Okay. So number 3 is time to do this. And I was just saying that I don't buy it when people say they don't have time, because we make time for what we think is important, right? If it's important to you, you will do it. And here's what I'll say. It really doesn't matter how much time. What matters is that you put your heart into it and that you give it some time every day. And my feeling is, if you're going to do this, why not give it your all? And you can't be lazy in this business. You have to show up. And you have to show up every day in some way. And I think back on this, I really spent years giving it my all as a teacher in that career, but it didn't pay me what I was worth. And now I figure I teach and get paid residually on every lesson that I teach. How amazing is that? So why wouldn't you put your heart into this if you knew that you could be paid residually for the rest of your life on whatever you taught? So, and here's another thing that I heard when I first started this, that in this business, when you first start, you work 80% of the time, but you only get 20% return. But eventually that equation shifts, so that you put 20% effort in and you get 80% return. So just knowing that also should, motivates me, and used to motivate me, is that if I work now really hard, later on I'll get the return on this and continue for the rest of my life. So the other expression I've heard that I love is you can make excuses. I think this is Jim Rohn or someone. You can make excuses, or you can make money, but you can't make both. So again, 15 minutes a day. If that's all you can put into this, but you consistently do 15 minutes a day, and in that 15 minutes you're actually having conversations and reaching out to people or doing 3-way calls, you can build an extraordinary business. Throw in some Saturdays, a few regionals, 2 conferences a year, and I promise you can build a huge business. But there's people that put in hours a day, but they're not doing the money-making activities. You're putting in hours a day, but what you're doing is organizing your desk, or you're listening. You're getting educated, listening to all these calls, but you're not actually acting on it. The things that will bring you success and bring you income and help you make an impact is those conversations. Taking the time to have those conversations. So number 1, you need a reason. Number 2, you need people to talk to. Number 3, you have to put some time into it. Number 4 is having a positive mindset. You must be the keeper at the gate of your mind. I once heard someone said, no one can get in my head and live there rent-free. You decide who you're going to listen to. Are you going to let other people talk you out of this, tell you you're doing something crazy? You're going to let them steal your dreams? And also know this. Here's the other thing about being positive. You can get down and out because you can feel like you're no good at this sometimes. And when you start, you are going to be pretty bad at this. You're actually going to suck. And then you're going to be mediocre. And then you'll get better. And Gretchen always says you have to be bad to get better. So just know that you've got to do it anyway, because it's the only way you're going to get any good at this. And the way, this all relates to having a positive mindset is just telling yourself, I can do this. And I don't have to be that good at it. I just have to do it. And then just do it. The other thing I find really helpful are daily affirmations, I am statements. Again, I am good at this. I am capable. I can do this. I'm scared out of my pants. I can do this. And Jeff Roberti, who's one of my uplines, has this expression that there's really no room in this business for stinking thinking. And we become what we think about. I know you've heard that a million times, but it's absolutely true. If you walk around saying, I'm not going to be able to do this, I'm no good, and, I can't get anybody to talk to, nobody wants this. If you say so, then it's true, right? So another way to get into a positive mindset is listen to CDs when you're going for a walk or whatever. I mean, still to this day, I subscribe to Success Magazine, and I put their little CDs in my car, and I listen to them, and I get all psyched up, and I listen to Jim Rohn all the time. I've heard him a million times. I can't hear him enough. It just helps me get focused and center and stay positive. And I think when I was most recently, my husband got to National Marketing Director, and we were doing that, and I got involved with this program that actually Lisa's doing now called Thinking into Results, and it's all about how you can create your future just by what you think about will come true. And one of the things that they had us do is to write a goal card. So I wrote on this goal card, and this was a year ago, and I wrote, I am so happy. I was projecting what I wanted. I am so happy and grateful. Now that my team is growing exponentially, I have 3 new frontline sales coordinators. Roger's a national marketing director. I have abundant success, and I live in peace and harmony and love with family, friends, and team. And I would read this card every single morning and every single night. And guess what? To the month that I had on there that this was going to happen, I wrote December 2016, Roger became the national marketing director. And I had not 3 new frontline sales coordinators, but 4. And I have no idea how it happened. Honest to God, I didn't have any idea, but I read this card every day. So if you want something to come true, write it down, read it, and believe it. And just be positive and think it into happening, because I really believe that this this happened. It was sort of like, oh my goodness, this came true. So it works. So be in a positive mindset. And that does not mean you're not going to have disappointments. You will have major disappointments in this. Every day you'll have disappointments probably. But if you just keep going, then you're also going to have incredible positive things that will happen. And you have to discipline those disappointments, get sad for about 2 minutes, and then just let it go out of your mind, move on to the next thing, and put one foot in front of the other. That's how we all do it, just putting one foot in front of the other. Okay, so 1 was having a reason, 2 was having people, 3 is having that time set aside every day, 4 is a positive mindset, and number 5 is getting support and plugging into this community and beyond. I once heard Sharon Rankin say, who is one of our most wonderful national marketing directors in our company, and she was one of the very first female, if not the first female national marketing director. And she said that she thinks the greatest thief to success in our business is isolation. So we must immerse ourselves in the community and in all these trainings. There's weekly calls. You guys who are on this call tonight, you're the smart ones. You're the ones who are going to be successful. You keep plugging into these things. This is what we have to do. Regular events. three-way calls, going to the regionals, attending our conferences twice a year. This is a relationship business, and it will not grow in isolation. And how are you going to grow your belief and your vision and your confidence and your skills? You grow all of those by plugging in and showing up. And other people are watching you, and they will do exactly what you do. This business is a business of duplication. Do and be what you want to duplicate. So if you expect other people to get on these calls and come to events, that's what you have to do. So what happens when you're anchored in your why, you've got your reason, you talk to a lot of people, you apply yourself every day, and you have a positive mindset, and you plug in? You will begin to see that it is worth it in little ways in the beginning. Your paycheck will reflect your efforts. You'll be patted on the back by your upline, and your confidence starts to grow in yourself. This will give you the excitement to keep going, and it will be even more worth it. You will make your next promotion. Your husband tells you he's proud of you. You get to buy your first pair of Jimmy Choo shoes. You start saving money. You are surprisingly generous to someone. You get recognized by one of your leaders. This feels really good. And you start to see yourself as a successful national marketing director. And this gets you out of bed in the morning and makes you feel awesome and on top of your game. And it's even more worth it. You quit your job. Your kids tell you they're proud of you. You're able to donate to some of your favorite organizations. You take a trip to St. Bart's, where you had gone on your honeymoon, and you have an even bigger savings account. This feels really good. And you set a huge goal, and pretty soon you are wildly successful. You are powerful. You are working for the sheer thrill of it, and it's so worth it because your husband retires. You redecorate your whole house. You take your family on amazing trips, and you fly first class, and you can even afford to fly one of their boyfriends to come with you. You hire a housekeeper who does all the things you don't like to do, and she does them even better than you. And you are generous in ways you never dreamed of with your time and your money. And you are changing lives and making an impact on an untold number of people. And you couldn't stop this train if you tried. And it's so worth it.
Whew. I know. I'm like, bravo, bravo. Oh, Pammy, this is why I love you. I love you. You are the real deal. All of that is just amazing.
Well, I'm glad you asked me to do this because it was really fun to write it. I hadn't thought about it for a long time, so it was very therapeutic for me.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And if you don't know Pammy's family, I mean, they have a beautiful life together, and how awesome to be able to still travel with your adult children because you get to pay for them, so they'll still go with you.
And that's why they do.
What?
That's why they come on all of vacation.
They don't come to be with you.
It's free.
It's free. Exactly. So if you want your children to be with you your rest of your life, do this business because you're going to need it.
Pammy, thank you so much. You are just awesome. I love watching you. I love learning from you, and I can't wait to spend time with you and your awesome team.
We're excited.
Next weekend.
We are too. Thank you, guys.
So, Pammy, I know that a lot of people have to jump off for another call, but I have one quick question that I know is circulating through some people's minds, and maybe you can answer this. And for those of you, this will be on the recording, but you know, what if you feel, and you really are doing all of this stuff, you're doing all of this stuff, and that big jump hasn't happened yet. You're sitting at sales coordinator for a lot of time, and you seriously are doing these things. You're not faking it. How do you encourage that when somebody wants their paycheck, they have their why, and it's not where they want it to be yet? What would you say to them?
Well, a
I know
couple.
I'm putting you on the spot.
No. I think that can happen for a lot of people. And usually it's not because they're not doing the stuff. I would start to look really closely at actually what the conversations sound like you're having. Oftentimes it's not that you're not doing it, it's what you're saying. And that's where I think the three-way calls are so magical. So people might be doing it all, but honestly, if they're not doing enough three-way calls and getting people on the phone with someone else, they're missing a huge piece. And I often find that the people that aren't moving ahead, it's because that's the piece they're not doing. Because we as sales coordinators cannot paint a vision that's big enough for people to step into this. I think that oftentimes, and I think this happens, people say, I'm doing it all, but I'm not getting anywhere. There's usually something in there that can be tweaked.
So that three-way call is not only letting us who paint vision, but hearing what they're saying so we can help them tweak it. So actually maybe letting them make calls where we listen in and then add to them and paint more vision.
Exactly.
Yes.
And there's really subtle things. If I actually start to listen to what some people are saying, it's just a learning thing. Like there's just a little tweak that can make someone's response different than it would be otherwise. So we were just hanging up the other day. We were doing three-way calls. I was doing one with someone, and we talked about what the message would sound like that you would leave, because we didn't reach a lot of people. So even the message that you leave can either spark interest or not. And the message that she was leaving was something like, just calling to see how you're doing and check in and see what you're up to, and give me a call sometime. That's how she was hanging up. And I said, are you open to some feedback here? Because I think we could improve on this. And I was able to say, leave it like this. Say, I'm calling you because I want to run something by you. I have an idea. Can you get back to me as soon as you have a chance? So that person's going to call her back. I'd call someone back if they said they had an idea they wanted to run by. They had something that they wanted to share with me. So that's very different than just checking in to see how you are. So it was kind of a cop-out. We were calling her to invite her into the business. Yeah. We're checking in to see how she was doing. So you've said it yourself, Nikki. You have to be authentic and actually tell people what you're thinking. And that's the best advice that we can give anybody, is that you just can't pretend anything. Don't pretend. Just be who you are and be like, I'm calling you to ask you something. I want to tell you something. I want to run something by you. I want to ask you a favor. Leave them that question. I want to ask you something. Call me as soon as you can.
Intriguing and a call to action.
Yeah.
Right? Right. That's great. So thank you so much, Pammy. That was great. Lisa, are you still here? Because I think she probably had a call to get on to. So if she's not, I want to thank Lisa for inviting you on, Pammy. It was a great call. Will everybody unmute themselves and absolutely give Pammy a heat cheer, one word shout out, what you thought about the call.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Pammy. Thank you.
Thank you.